Scientists haven't found one leading cause of Alzheimer's, but rather several factors that contribute to this disease. These contributors include age, genetics, as well as multiple environmental factors. According to the National Institute on Aging, the number of people with this disease doubles every 5 years beyond the age of 65. After the age of 85, the risk reaches nearly 1/3. But Alzheimer's is not a normal or inevitable part of aging. It is actually a progressive disease that starts in one part of the brain and gradually invades other regions in a predictive pattern. As time goes on, Alzheimer's destroys nerve cells within the brain and the connections between them. This destruction leaves behind plaques and tangles. According to the Alzheimer's Association, the plaques that build up between nerve cells are abnormal clusters of protein fragments. Dead and dying nerve cells contain tangles, which are made up of twisted strands of another protein. These two things are always found in the brains affected by Alzheimer's. There are two types of Alzheimer's. One is referred to as early onset and the other as late onset. Genetics plays a part in both. Early onset Alzheimer's is caused by a number of different single gene mutations on chromosomes 21, 14, and 1. These mutations cause abnormal proteins to be formed. Mutations on chromosome 21 cause the formation of abnormal amyloid precursor protein, also known as APP. A mutation on chromosome 14 causes abnormal presenilin 1 to be made, and a mutation on chromosome 1 leads to abnormal presenilin 2. Each of these mutations plays a role in the breakdown of APP, which is a protein whose precise function is not yet fully understood. This breakdown is part of a process that generates harmful forms of amyloid plaques, which are a hallmark of Alzheimer's disease. For late onset Alzheimer's, one genetic risk factor does increase a person's risk. Having one form of the apolipoprotein E, also known as APOE, gene on chromosome 19 does increase a person's risk in getting late onset Alzheimer's. APOE2 is relatively rare and may provide some protection against this disease. If Alzheimer's disease does occur in a person with this allele, it usually develops later in life than it would in someone with the APOE4 gene. APOE3, the most common allele, is believed to play a neutral role in this disease, neither decreasing nor increasing the risk. APOE4 increases risk for Alzheimer's disease and is also associated with an earlier age of disease onset. A person has 0, 1, or 2 APOE4 alleles. Having more APOE4 alleles increases the risk of developing Alzheimer's. There are also other correlations between Alzheimer's and other complications a person might endure during their life. According to the National Institute of Aging, there are relationships between cognitive decline and vascular conditions such as heart disease, stroke, and high blood pressure, as well as metabolic conditions such as diabetes and obesity. Also, a person who has previously had any type of head trauma has an increased risk of being affected by this disease. Although there is not just one factor that plays into this disease, it is helpful knowing the contributors of Alzheimer's. For the purpose of diagnosing this destructive disease, knowing the signs and symptoms can help bring light to a loved one's sufferings. The end.
Yay.